Recently, a police officer was killed during an attack by a man believed to be of unsound mind in Linstead. This has been one of the numerous cases of this nature in recent times. Um, this morning, we have Senior Superintendent of Police of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, Stephanie Lindsay, to enlighten us on dealing with these situations. Senior Sup, morning. Welcome once again to Smile Jamaica. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm good.
Morning.
Um,
Morning, sir.
Let me start with this one that happened because I read that it's not the first time he has done it to someone, that he's a violent person. If that is so, why was he still on the street?
So what you find is that it's one of the issues that we contend with as a constabulary, because we will get the report sometime that persons are attacked. We usually work very closely with the mental health, the community mental health team, because in many instances you will probably charge based on the nature of the persons. Then we have to work and refer them to the mental health department for them to treat with them. So they will take them in, treat with them for a while, and when they're satisfied that they are well enough to be released to the family, then they treat them and they release them to their family. But there's also always no guarantee that they won't reoffend.
It's
Oh,
interesting we're talking about this today, Sinus, because yesterday we were talking to Minister Samuda about persons who are incarcerated and have mental challenges, and that there's a need to do more in terms of their treatment. What do we do in instances like this? Do we, I don't know, create some kind of policy that ensures that the person checks in, or that the family members are responsible for ensuring that they take medication, they get treated, they do counseling? Because if this person is constantly attacking citizens, how do we solve it?
So, and you're right. So, in the Jamaica Constabulary Force, we have gone ahead to have a policy that guides our members how they respond to persons with mental illness. Of course, there are different degrees of mental illness. So, you have some persons who are permanently at a particular stage. There are some persons who have some kind of diagnosis like bipolar or schizophrenic. So, they will go out from time to time. So in at the different levels that they're assessed, then that is how we treat them from a law enforcement standpoint. So those that are not always mental, or they are not that severe, some of those we will take them into custody, charge and take them into custody. As soon as we get them, we report to the mental health, community mental health, because they have a community mental health crisis center that we work very closely with. So once we have a person who is deemed to be mentally challenged, then we contact them. They'll come in and do an assessment. We put them to court at the earliest time, because it is a challenge to keep them in custody, because sometimes they behave very badly, and then they may be affected by other prisoners or who we have in our custody. So the intention is always not to keep them in custody, because that's not what they really need. They need medical treatment.
yeah. I was at a traffic light, I think it was on Spanish Town Road, recently enough, and there was this person, I think, of unsound mind, and he just walked up to the car and had this huge stone in his hand and kept, pretending like he would throw it at me, and I was a little nervous. But I say that to say that I don't know that a lot of these people are on the road. I mean, I was preparing for this, and I read where it says it happened before with police officers. I didn't know that these people are that dangerous. So has this happened often enough that police officers are attacked by some of these folks who are of unsound mind?
Um, well, sometimes I'm not even sure if it's a police officer. There are instances where they will see the police and they will throw stone, they will do things, but they're mental, so they also throw stones at other people. So you will have those that are just naturally violent. They will throw stones at children, they will chase children out. So once we get those reports, those are the ones that we quickly report to the mental health department. And usually what they do is they come and they take them. Most times they're admitted to a mental facility, and it depends on the parish, and they remain there for a while. But of course, you can't keep them there indefinitely. Sometimes they don't have the family support in many instances to ensure, like you mentioned, Delia, that a lot of them, if they stay on medication, they are fine. But in a lot of instances, you don't have that regime where the family member, they ensure that they stay on the medication. There are also the instances where the family members are afraid of them, so they keep them at a distance. And when they don't have that support, then they end up on the street, and we just have to treat with them accordingly.
Yeah, it's also stigma as well. You know, sometimes family members don't want to say they have a person in their family that has a mental health challenge, and there's a lot of things we have to deal with. But how do you then, as a citizen, treat the situation, SSP? Because from me, a little picnic, them say, listen, if you see a person of Unsound mind, go the other way, because if anything happen, nothing not gonna come out of it. In simple Jamaican terms, that's what they say. Never spoke about the man with the stone. Then when I said driving a car, if he broke your glass, nothing not gonna come out of it. So what do we do as citizens when we come across people of unsound mind who display violent tendencies?
Right. So it's always best, if you can, to avoid them. Because like you said, they are not in their right mind. Even if they go before a court, they may not be fit to stand to a trial because of their medical condition. So if you can avoid them, we know a lot of people, sometimes they hurt them because people will get upon them, they'll beat them, they will do things to them.
Yes.
We still try to get people to understand that what these people have is a medical problem. So if you can help them, we encourage persons to help them as much as possible. As a citizen, if you see them out there and they are misbehaving, you can make contact to the Medical Health Crisis Center, but you can also call 119 because we have a direct link to the various departments. So if you are on the street and you see somebody misbehaving, usually they throw stones at cars, they try to intimidate, notify us by way of 119 and we will have the medical team. Most of the times, they are the ones that will come and take them. The police usually support the team that goes out there because sometimes they are very violent and the team needs the support of the police to be present.
Yeah.
You answered the question already, but you can't lock them up, can you? Or can you?
Yeah. Yes, we can lock them up. We can arrest and charge them, and we put them before the court. Because some of them, you will find that you have persons who have an official diagnosis. So you know that person is certified. There are some persons where it say, well, this person mad. You'll have some persons who were in their right mind for a period, and then they just go off. So those persons may not have a medical diagnosis. So when they commit an offense, then you have to take them, charge them, put them before the court. But once you get that information, even before they go to court, once they come in, you call the team to come in, and a mental health team will come and assess them. You put them before the court. Usually, the court bail them sometimes to a family member, or they go to a facility for treatment.
Yeah.
Because usually when they stay in jail, it's a challenge. It's a challenge.
I know we're stretched for resources, SSP, but it sounds to me like there's a gap somewhere. That some kind of officer, maybe not from your organization, but somewhere, might need to be assigned to do follow-up. That if they need to report to this person every month, and that the person ensures that they are still on medication, provides counseling. If they don't report in, then somebody goes to find them where they are. But I think just leaving them, and this isn't the first time I've heard it, leaving them to be responsible when mentally we admit that they cannot be, then we're really setting up ourselves for more instances like these. It's just very unfortunate. We have to find a way to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's written in our policy that after you have passed over somebody to the mental health facility, after 30 days, we do a follow-up to see what is the situation, to do an update, to see what's going on with those persons. So there are times when we follow up. There are times when these people are habitual persons, so they will come and go. They come and go all the time. Yeah. So you do have that. But it's one of the things that we have gone to give our members, like basic training in how to treat with persons with this kind of disability. But most of our police officers are not trained to handle the situation. So we always rely on our counterparts in the mental health department to support the cases, because they have the kind of training and know how to relate to these individuals. Sometimes when the family call in the police and the police turns up, that's when they become boisterous and very violent. So
Yes.
there are different levels. Yes, so many times the police just have to stand up and wait for the medical health team to come and deal with the situation.
Condolences, Senior Soup. Really sorry what happened to your colleague. Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Always
so
good.
Unfortunate. I mean, a young constable, he was just going to the ATM, never did anything wrong, and he got to be a victim of a mental health person. So we thank you for the condolences.
Yeah, man, really sorry. Always great to see you. Stay safe and God bless you.
Thank you.
Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay. Our second edition of News in 5 is after this break. About 4 minutes to go before that, so stay with us, please.